The highly publicized delayed start to the school year, issues with building permits, and the continuous requests for funds from the Department of Education have kept the Guahan Academy Charter School in the headlines. Once again, GACS has found itself at the center of attention, and GDOE looks to distance themselves from them. PNC's Gia Righetti has more on the story.
The charter school has previously been denied funds to make a direct payment to a contractor they hired to make capital improvements to the building, which will be vacated at the end of this academic year. The previous denial of funds was in DOE's compliance with the law that expressly prohibits the use of government funds to pay for capital improvement projects. Today, GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez spoke with K57's Patty Arroyo to discuss GDOE's most recent denial of GAC's request to pay off a loan, which surprisingly is a loan the charter school took out to pay the contractor they hired to make capital improvements to the building. Fernandez spoke further on the issue.
I think the auditor's view is that amounts to the same thing, which is using government funds to pay for capital improvement projects, which is expressly prohibited in the law that authorizes the charter schools. It's essentially an indirect way to use government funds to pay for capital improvement.
Well, the exact amount of the loan has not been made available. The most recent request made to DOE asked for over $170,000 to pay a Bank of Guam loan. Fernandez recalls that the bill GACS racked up during construction amounts to around $1 million.
I think we need to reiterate and maybe send a letter with even further sense of urgency to remove DOE from this process, because it just sounds like the problem's not getting better. In fact, it might be getting worse with regard to number one, how GACS may be approaching their operation, and number two, putting us in the middle of it to try to validate their expenses given our reading of the law.
The entire amount of the loan requested for payment was denied. Gia Righetti, PNC News.
You can read more on the story online at thepacificnewscenter.com.